Right from the start, you can feel the emotional weight hitting our narrator. That moment when a loved one's voice comes through, suddenly the gravity of events isn't just legal, it's deeply personal. Audience, imagine hearing that call mid-crisis. What would run through your mind?
Your Honor, Mark Braswell for the defense. I would first like to call Tom Landreth, who is a character witness, and he'll be brief. Say, sir, where do you currently live?
I live in San Antonio.
Okay. And how would you describe Mr. Fernandez?
Easygoing, kind of laid back. Just a regular, well-rounded type person.
Here's a classic defense strategy: building character credibility. The attorney is stacking military service, decades of aviation experience, and a spotless driving record to paint Mr. Fernandez as responsible. Notice how this humanizes him before we even touch the core charges.
Have you ever known him to break the law?
No.
Have you ever known him, sir, to race or drive recklessly?
No.
Do you believe he is an honest man?
Yes.
Do you think that he is a man who will do what he says?
Yes.
Are you asking the court today to give Victor deferred adjudication?
Yes.
And if he's given deferred adjudication today by the court, do you think he would be successful?
Yes.
Okay. Do you and him both own shares in a company named Avimec International Aviation, Inc.?
Yes.
Okay. And is that something that you and him and others plan on pursuing in the future?
Yes.
Thank you. Your Honor, Victor Fernandez is a 60-year-old man. He's father of 5 kids. He enlisted in the Marine Corps at the age of 17, served 8 years, was promoted to the rank of sergeant, and he was responsible for 8 different aviation maintenance shops at Camp Pendleton. He was promoted to inspector and released aircraft to go fly.
Now we shift to the high-stakes, serious injuries, medical bills over $900,000, and one victim nearly losing her arm. This is where the courtroom isn't just about technicalities, it's about real lives impacted. Audience, how do you weigh restitution against career and life achievements?
He was awarded the Marine Corps Reserve Medal and the Good Conduct Medal. When he left the Marine Corps, he became a civil servant, and he worked in aviation at the Naval Air Station Alameda in California. And Mr. Fernandez has over 40 years of experience in the aviation industry. He's maintained steady employment with Boeing in San Antonio as a quality assurance inspector. And for 36 years, he has had an A&P license, and A&P stands for airframes and power plants. And so he has no criminal history in the last 34 years. He has no history of racing, no history of driving recklessly. In fact, Judge, he was actually a Lyft driver. And working for Lyft, he was awarded a windbreaker with a Lyft logo and a 1,000 customers patch on his left sleeve because of his driving. He also earned a 5-star rating as a Lyft driver because of his satisfied customers repeatedly. Now, Judge, my client is fully responsible and accepts full responsibility for his actions. I wanted to talk a little bit about some of his business endeavors because, Judge, it goes directly to the restitution. This is a case where my client and another man were both charged with racing, and he sped through an intersection, ran a red light, and hit another car, causing basically 5 different people to suffer physical injury.
Boom, here, the tension. Despite all the accolades and character evidence, the defense can't erase the fact a red light was run, speeding occurred, and lives were harmed. This is a reminder that courts balance past behavior with the severity of the crime itself.
One of them, Miss Amber Skripka, was nearly killed. She has had 15 surgeries, Judge, almost lost her arm.
Notice the court emphasizing personal responsibility and age. Too old to be racing isn't just a quip, it's a judgment on maturity, risk, and accountability. Audience, what do you think? Should age factor heavily into sentencing in cases like this?
She still has at least one surgery left to go, and her medical bills are over $900,000. Her insurance company has paid over $238,000. And so when we talk about restitution in this case, Judge, it is a seven-figure issue. Okay. Some of the other victims did not respond to the DA's office repeated requests for information on restitution, but Ms. Skripka did, and my client wants to do everything in his power to make her whole. And he is part owner of a company named Avimec International Aircraft Inc., and he owns 300,000 shares in that company. And it is a company that
And now, the victim impact statement hits. Amber Skripka's words put a human face on the consequences. This is why victim testimony is so powerful, it bridges the gap between legal proceedings and the lives affected. Watch closely how this shapes the court's perspective on mercy versus punishment.
has permission from the Federal Aviation Administration to build three different models of aircraft in the United States, France, and Brazil. And it is a environmentally responsible aircraft. So it's actually part of, green energy. And they just received a contract with the United States Air Force to start building these helicopters that basically run on peroxide. And so the company is expected to go public. And when it does, my client will become an instant millionaire. I have seen the contract I've seen evidence of that, and I'm happy to share that with the court. May I share my screen, Judge?
With regards to that, the court will accept the defense counsel's word that the defendant is going to perhaps become a multimillionaire.
Yeah, and so, Judge, we only say that because, unfortunately, Ms. Skripka was not only physically injured, she has suffered. First off, I don't know if words can describe it, but her car basically flipped, and she has tons and tons of medical bills, and she's suffered substantially. My client wants to be able to make her whole, and we really believe that there's an opportunity here for him to actually do that. And that's an important part of this case, Judge. And so with the mitigation package, I can just tell the court my client has numerous certificates of training, awards in the aviation industry, certificates of appreciation for teaching classes, certificates of achievement, and so on and so on. And so he is a productive member of society, Judge, with no history of racing or driving recklessly. In fact, all the evidence points in the opposite direction. But none of that matters in the sense that he did run a red. He ran a red light, Judge, and was speeding through that intersection and caused serious injuries. And so we're asking the court to give him deferred adjudication today, and he accepts full responsibility for his decision.
All right, Mr. Going to deny your application. The court is going to find you guilty, and the court is going to sentence you to 5 years in prison. Take in consideration 2019 CR 8155B. There's to be restitution to Amber Skripka, SKRIPK, and there's an affirmative finding of deadly weapon. And
Your
you'll
Honor,
receive.
May I comment? The victim, Amber Skripka, made a victim impact statement, Judge. She asked for the longest term of probation possible.
I read it, and what she said is she wanted the longest term of probation possible if he was not going to be sentenced to jail. Is there something that the court is unaware of, some kind of agreement that was reached?
Your Honor, the agreement was that the court would decide, and it was a.
All right, we're going to take a short recess. Mr. Braswell, if I could see you in breakout room number 2.
Okay.
And Mr. Nesbitt, if I could see you in breakout room number 2, please. Everyone, just give me a moment. And then Brenda, we're gonna take the lunch break. I understand you need for the record in 2019 CR 8157A. Could I have parties announced for the record, please?
Tom Nisbet for the state.
Your Honor, Mark Braswell for the defense with my client, Victor Fernandez, who is in person in court.
All right, the court had made its ruling before the break, and both parties asked that I hear new evidence. And there was a request for me to withdraw or give a new trial as it relates to sentencing. And the court agreed to do that and ordered that. So there's new information. Is that correct?